So what I'll be going over today are the following. First, I will review the exam objectives for the certification exam. You've received a document called QuickBooks Exam Objectives that you can follow along with and be able to refer to after this recorded webinar. Then, at the end of the webinar, I will open up to Q&A and address any questions you have going forward in regards to training, the certification exam, and so on. So, first, to go over the exam objectives. A bit of information about the certification exam. The certification exam is approximately 50 minutes long, and there are 50 multiple choice questions. So that's about a minute per question. So in order to receive your voucher for the certification exam, you will have wanted to complete all of the training and metrics. That is the info sheet, the certification tutorial, the Mastering QuickBooks Level 1 lecture, the course QuickBooks Pro 2009, Getting Started, and then the two Prove-It assessments, QuickBooks Pro 2012 and QuickBooks Pro 2011. Upon completion, you will receive your voucher and then an additional email with information about your 3 practice tests for the exam that you receive. The 3 practice tests are provided through Certiport. This is a certification testing company, and having taken the exam, I found these very helpful because they directly replicate the types of questions and situation you'll be in for the certification exam. The certification exam, in order to pass, you will need to get a 700 out of 1,000, so approximately 70% if you think about it that way, and each question is worth about 20 points. So first, I'm going to go over the exam objectives, which are the following. The first thing I want to know is QuickBooks Setup. This is 6% of the questions asked. So you will want to know what information is required before you set up a QuickBooks file. In order to create a company through QuickBooks Express Start, you'll need to know basic company information and general operations within the company. You'll need to know how to start a new company file in QuickBooks through the Easy Step interview, how to keep the lists and preferences from an old file while removing transactions in QuickBooks, how to customize the home page through preferences, and how to set up lists. So this includes customers, vendors, items, and so on. This includes understanding which names and items should appear on which lists. Next, you'll want to know QuickBooks Utilities and general product knowledge. This is 10% of the questions that are asked, so approximately 5 questions. You will want to know how to navigate or move around QuickBooks using the home page, menus, icon bar, etc. How to back up and restore a data file by going to File, Open or Restore Company, how to determine the release number and how to update QuickBooks, how to use QuickBooks in single-user and multi-user mode, what versions and editions of QuickBooks are available for a specific year, how to password protect QuickBooks through company setup users, and how and why to use preferences. Item number 3 is list management. This is 6% of what's asked. You will want to know how to manage lists, so customers, vendors, items, etc. List management includes adding new entries, deleting entries, editing entries, and merging entries. So again, in order to merge an entry in a list, you'll want to rename the list entry. You can refer to pages 30 to 32 of the Day 1 manual for this information. You will want to know items next. Which is part number 4. This is 8% of the questions that are asked. How QuickBooks uses items to perform necessary accounting entries, the different types of items, and when to use each type. For this, refer to Chapter 5, page 48 in the Mastering QuickBooks Day 1 manual. And how to use items for specific types of scenarios. So this includes companies that sell products for a specified price, services for a specified price, unique products or services that have different prices for each sale, or one service or product. Part number 5 is sales. This is 10% of the questions that are asked, so approximately 5 questions total. You'll want to know the 5 ways to record sales. This is invoices, sales receipts, statement charges, deposits, and through Excel, Petrie, or another QuickBooks compatible program. You'll want to know who should be listed in the Customer Center, how to navigate and use the Customer Center, how to complete the workflow from the sale to making the deposit for invoicing and sales receipts. So again, you invoice when the customer does not pay at the time of sale, and you do a sales receipt when the customer does pay at the time of sale. You'll want to know how QuickBooks uses the undeposited funds, accounts receivable, and checking accounts for the invoicing cycle, how and why to record a customer credit, how and why to create statements, and how to handle a bounced or NSF check, which is when someone writes you a bad check. Topic number 6 is purchases, which is another 10% of the questions asked. You'll want to know who should be listed in the vendor center. So remember, a vendor is anyone you pay. So this can mean subcontractors, utility company, your landlord, suppliers, and so on. How to navigate and use the vendor center, the different workflows for making purchases, including entering and paying bills, writing checks, using a credit card, and using a debit card, how to record the transactions in the purchase workflows, how and why to record a vendor credit, how to complete the inventory workflow from purchase order to payment, how to set up, collect, and pay sales tax, and bank reconciliation. Item number 7 is payroll. This is 12% of the questions asked. And just to intervene here, having taken the training as well as the practice assessment tests, I noticed that payroll was a section that I struggled with. So what I did was I made sure that I referred back to the training and the Day 2 manual to ensure that I knew payroll and I understood the concepts behind. So you will want to know the differences between the payroll services available from QuickBooks. So this is basic, enhanced, assisted, and direct. How to set up payroll, including employees, federal and state taxes, and basic payroll deductions using the payroll setup wizard. So this is how to set up an employee's earnings and sick or vacation time, how to track sick or vacation time, so accruing hours and using banked hours, how and why to set up payroll schedules, how to run payroll, how and why to pay payroll liabilities, how to prepare a payroll form, so 941, W-2, and so on in QuickBooks, and then how to track time and use it for payroll or for invoicing customers. Topic number 8 is reports. This is 16% of the questions asked. This is the majority, as you can see, percentage-wise. So I made sure to review and understand reports in QuickBooks. You'll want to know how and why to use the report center, how to customize reports, including report modifications, collapsing, sub-accounts, etc., using the Customize Report button, the basic question that each report answers, so a basic understanding of each report, how and why to process multiple reports, how and why to send reports to Excel, understanding and using the basic and advanced tab, how to memorize reports, so adding a memorized report group as well as memorizing reports in the Memorize button. Topic number 9 is basic accounting, 10% of the questions. What the basic financial statements are and have a basic understanding of what they mean. You'll want to know the difference between cash and accrual reports. So again, accrual-based accounting recognizes expenses and income in the period that they have occurred, regardless if payment has actually occurred. But cash basis accounting does not recognize items until they have actually been paid. You'll want to know how and why to set a closing date and why this is important, as well as how to enter a journal entry if asked to do so by an accountant. The last section is section number 10, customization, saving times, and shortcuts. This is 12% of the questions asked. You'll want to know how and why to memorize transactions, how to set up multiple users and what level of access can be granted or denied, and how and why to create custom fields for customers, vendors, and employees in QuickBooks. So again, this is my basic overview of the exam objectives. I recommend going back to this document, reviewing, in addition through the practice that you receive through the 2 assessments, in addition to the 3 practice tests that you'll receive once you get the voucher. You'll have a good idea about the types of questions that are asked as well as how to go about answering those. So at this point, I'm going to open the line up to question and answers, and I'm here to address any questions that you have. All right, does anyone have any questions at this point?
I do. This is Vicki.
Hi, Vicki.
Hi, I'm having a problem taking my my test on the Prove It. So when I look to do the QuickBooks 2011, it's not allowing me to take this test so far.
Okay, so this sounds like a technical issue. What I'm going to do after this call is follow up with you, all right?
Okay, good.
Okay.
Valerie, this is Lori.
Hi, Lori.
Hi, I got my the code for now. I guess the 3 practice tests, the voucher code. Now, if I read correctly on the email, it said you can only take those tests one time. Is that correct?
Yes, each of the voucher codes, each of the 3 that you receive are for one-time use only. So you'll have, 3 assessments and 3 times to take.
Okay.
And in addition to the 3 practice tests that you receive, once you do receive your voucher, I've been sending out a document that I found in, looking on the internet to see what else I could do to help people feel prepared for the exam. I found a document. It is 100 QuickBooks practice test questions with answers. So it gives you the, multiple choice A, B, C, or D for each question, and then lets you know why each question answer is correct or incorrect. So between, the practice you get through metrics in addition to the 3 practice tests and those questions, I'd make sure to review all of those, have a good understanding, and I think you'll be set to go.
Now, you sent that out already, or not yet?
So for anyone who has received the voucher, the email with the 3 practice tests, that is where the practice questions are.
Valerie?
Okay.
Valerie? It's Millie.
Hi, Millie.
Hi. I have a question. Is the
Sure.
exam based on the different versions of QuickBook, like 12, 11, or is it just general QuickBook questions?
So the exam that you're taking is on QuickBooks 2012.
Okay.
So the questions that you'll get are based on that.
Okay,
again,
because the Prove It was on different versions, so I just wanted to confirm that.
Yes, and the reason we have you do that is because, there's not too much of a difference between the different QuickBooks versions. We just want you to get a good deal of extra practice. So
okay,
the exam itself, again, it's multiple choice. I'll bring up a couple of examples of questions quickly. So again, you'll get this document once you receive your voucher. So one of the questions is, I'll bring this up so you can see actually. Okay. So one of the questions is, you've been hired by a company that started in 1911. They have never used QuickBooks. During the Easy Step interview, which start date should you use? And you can see here there are questions A, B, C, or D. This is much like on the exam. So there is no start date in the Easy Step interview, the date the company bought QuickBooks, 1911, or the date that you want to begin tracking the company's finances in QuickBooks. So this is the correct answer, as you can see, and you can see the explanation behind why you would use this for the correct answer rather than any of the other 3 options. So again, this PDF is something that you'll receive once you do get the 3 practice test vouchers, and I think that you'll find everything really helpful.
Okay.
So I guess I know everyone's kind of at different points at this time, so my suggestion is once you finish, you'll just have to finish the QuickBooks 2012, QuickBooks 2011 assessments. Once you finish those, you will get those vouchers. So I just, recommend keep going. If you do not pass the assessments the first time through, please do not be, alarmed or discouraged. I actually did not pass the 2012 my first time I took it. Just retake the assessment until you get the score that you want, and you will receive that voucher upon successful completion.
I do have one question. It's Mary Beth, and my question is, when you're answering those multiple choice questions, is it specific as to, do you hit, would you click on reports or chart of accounts and then click the next? Is it that specific, or is it just in general type of questions?
Okay, so yes, again, it's multiple choice, so you're not having to click anywhere. I'm not sure if there's any confusion there. But for the questions itself, it's more conceptual and, behind the program. You might get a question here or there, how would you get to this part in the chart of accounts? But honestly, it gives you a pretty good guide, and because it is multiple choice, you can, use kind of reasoning to be able to determine between the answers and things like that. So it doesn't get into too many specifics. It's not going to say, where on the menu bar can you find this? But there might be a couple of guided questions where they have the steps, but you'll be able to determine that once you get there.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Valerie, after you take the 3 practice tests, the next step is do we sign up for taking the actual test, or they assign a date and time for us?
So what you'll want to do is once you finish those practice tests, we want to contact the one-stop to arrange a testing time and date. It's going to be based upon their availability and your availability. I spoke with the manager of the both locations, and she would prefer that everyone tests on 2 specific dates. She hasn't gotten back to me as to what those dates are. However, yes, once you finish, you'll arrange with them.
Now, who is specifically is there a contact person? Because I'm not sure who it is at the Middletown office.
So at Middletown, it should be Alan. But you can, when you finish, contact me, and I can get in contact with the people there.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. And then for Newburgh, Lionel, there's 2 different locations.
And you can take it at either location depending on your schedule, correct?
Yes, we prefer that you take the test through the location that you actually received access from. But again, they're willing to work with you, on availability and things like that. So it'll be based upon yours and theirs.
Okay, great.
All right. Anything else from anyone else?
And just to confirm, those dates for the exam would be from the 7th through the 14th?
Yes. So we have, actually, the testing will start on the 8th. So it'll be the 8th through the 14th. I don't have the specific dates that they want to do yet. I can follow up with you.
Right. Okay. I just want to. Okay.
Yep. All right. So that concludes everything I have on my end here. If you do have any further questions, you can feel free to contact us. I'll be sending a recorded version of this webinar shortly, just so you'll have that on hand. In addition, some other locations customers have requested the recorded review videos that I created. So I will send you the 2 links to those recorded review videos so that when you're going through the objectives, you don't have to, go through the entire 12-hour course type of thing. And what it does is I try and focus on the different areas, what you've learned and what you should know. So I'll send an email with this recorded review as well as those 2 recorded videos for your reference. And continue on with your training, those of you who are not finished yet. And then those who are, continue on with the practice tests and things like that. And we look forward to helping you get this certification.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a good rest of your day, everyone.
All right.
You too.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks. Goodbye.